Alrighty, guys, we're back and we got Russell Brand on the line. Russell, you there, mate?
I am, Darren. All right, mate.
Hello, mate. Good to talk to you, and thanks for giving us your time. You're coming to our lovely country. You're coming to Sweden, and more specifically Stockholm.
I'm really excited to be in Stockholm. I'm doing a stand-up show tomorrow night, Saturday night, at the waterfront. I've done stand-up in Sweden before, and I'm always struck by how beautiful everyone is and how relaxed everybody is. See, I feel like walking through the streets of paradise when I'm in Stockholm.
Give us a little bit of a rundown on the show, because basically the modern comedian, he's the modern day rock star, right?
Well, I hope so, to a point. But this show represents a sort of transition that occurred when my daughter was born. It talks about what happens when you get involved in frontline politics. It talks about how power operates, whether it's spiritual, personal power or political power, and how we can be reborn unto ourselves to change our lives and change the world. But also there's lots of chaotic audience interaction. The audience members fill in surveys. We've got 85 surveys from the people that are coming to the show tomorrow. And I go into the audience, I talk to them, people talk about their most embarrassing sexual memories, the worst things and the craziest things they've ever done. The things people admit to, Darren, you wouldn't believe. And this being Stockholm, a place of, let's say, physical liberation, the quality of the surveys is very high.
So, and obviously, you've got your second child on the way. You've obviously you've got a new book, or a relatively new book, Recovery, out. So you obviously wrote that during the birth and the arrival of your first child.
That's correct, yeah. While my wife was pregnant with my daughter, I was writing this book that's sort of about, in a way it's about addiction. I've been addicted to most things over the course of my life, between heroin, sex, fame, money, pornography, and I've noticed the things that you do that help you to get over obvious forms of addiction will work for subtle forms of addiction. And we're all subtly addicted to something because we're all tethered to the material world in ways that we're unconscious of. So the book Recovery shows how you can change your perspective on your life and free yourself from unhealthy forms of attachment. Like it's a sort of, in a way, a spiritual program that's practical and easily applicable by anybody who wants to change themselves.
Very cool. Do you feel the birth of, especially your first child, do you feel that freed you of a lot of addictions, because you had to basically focus your attention on a child?
I think that's a very good point, Darren. From the birth, when my daughter was born, I felt in the moment of her birth the sort of end of a particular type of self-centeredness. For me, I've always been quite, I don't know, unconsciously or consciously obsessed with what I want. Now, I'm not obsessed with what I want. I'm obsessed with, well, I'm not trying not to be obsessed. That's not a healthy state of mind. I'm interested in what she wants. And I suppose when you have a child, it's a different way. It can even make you more it can make you want to incubate and hibernate with your family. But I think it's healthy to recognise that your child is going to exist in society, so that you're going to have healthy social structures for it to exist within.
Whether you're a parent or not, and everyone listening out there that's a parent or not, you still have to live your own life. And everyone still has addictions. What's Russell Brand's addictions now? Like we find, we interview a lot of rock artists here, and we find that coffee seems to be the new heroin. Everyone seems to be addicted to coffee these days.
Yeah, I've got that addiction. I was about to say like something more spiritual, like, caring about what other people think of me. But now it is coffee. Like I've got like a coffee machine. It's like fixing in a way. You've got to get the measurements right. You watch that brown liquid trickling out into the cup. I mean, there's a lot of fetishization around coffee. And I suppose, I do have a coffee addiction, but I don't smoke it or take it intravenously. I just take it in the conventional fashion.
Where do you stand personally now in regards to, you're an actor, a voiceover, you're a stand-up comedian, you're a writer. You're obviously coming to town for stand-up, which I guess was your first real love, comedy and stand-up comedy. How does that sit in the Russell Brand landscape at the moment, the stand-up comedy?
I do it wherever I go. I've just got back from doing an HBO show with Dwayne Johnson. You know that man, The Rock?
Oh, yeah.
I've just been with him.
You did the Ballers, right? You're in Ballers, right?
Yeah, Ballers. I've just been doing Ballers. Yeah, I've been getting my arse out on Ballers. On day 2 that I was working there, they said, "Oh, do you mind stripping naked on this beach?" And I thought, "Oh, well, God, okay, I'll do it." So, like I said, on day 2, you know, that man, The Rock, he's got a good anatomy on him, hasn't he? He's a big
Absolutely.
guy. And I had to strip naked in front of him on the second day on a public beach. But while I'm in like Hollywood doing those shows like for 6 weeks, I still keep doing stand up because it's the most direct form of communication that I know. So stand up to me is the thing I enjoy most, and I did stand up in Hollywood to prepare for these shows that I'm doing in Stockholm and Amsterdam and Oslo because, you know, it was a good opportunity because I've been in England for a long time, and as you know, if you read the news, Britain at the moment is deliberately through legislation separating itself from Europe. So to have a more global perspective, I keep up the stand-up. It's a good way of... Stand-up is a beautiful, beautiful art form because it's direct communication, it's real, you can say really whatever you want and you'll know how people feel about it from their reaction there in the room. Other forms of media, you could accidentally say something offensive. That's happened to me a lot in my life.
Yeah, yeah. So you talked about, obviously, the connection of politics and your stand-up. Obviously, people have talked about you going into politics yourself. You know, what are people going to think? An ex-drug addict and all that kind of stuff is... do you think that's what we need in politics now? Someone who's actually really lived the life and understands it rather than these fictional characters that fill our political seats these days?
I don't know. I mean, certainly at the moment, God, I'm not sure. But like when the President of the United States says and does the things that he has said and done, it does make you realise there's more scope than we'd previously imagined for political figures. Not that he'd particularly be an idol that I'd be pursuing. I do think that recently what's happened is people sense that politicians are distinct and separate from them. I don't know if that's as true in Stockholm as it is in Anglophonic countries, but I think what you want from politicians is visionary leaders that are willing to surrender to the will of the people. The point of politics is to distribute power to people so people have as much power and control in their lives as possible. Whereas I feel that we have a politics at the moment that diminishes the power of people in order to serve in financial institutions, transnational corporations, and the will of the powerful. So really what the change we need is, yes, you want people that have had personal experience that makes them closer to ordinary, to in inverted commas, people's experience, but the main thing is what is their vision? Because politics could be something that is beautiful again. It could be something that changes the world for the better.
Cool, very cool. So let's go back to your writing a little bit. Obviously, the new book, so everyone go and check it out, Recovery, Freedoms from Your Addiction. But you've written a couple of autobiographies. You wrote 2 autobiographies before you turned 40. How was that possible?
So I kept living so many lives. I've been living so many lives, Darren. Like the first part of my life was obviously like anyone defined by, or in my case, crazy childhood, and then the pursuit of fame in my 20s while being a drug addict. And the second one was, I suppose, about what it's like to be a celebrity and not feel like you belong there, not feel like, like I think many people, I don't know how this is in Stockholm, but in the countries that I've lived in, fame and celebrity seem like important things, primarily because of their relationship with commerce and the ongoing phenomena of continued commodification. But when you're in the world of celebrity, when you become a commodity, you realise, this is not about the pursuit of art or transcendence. This is just about selling stuff. So it can never really fulfill you. So the first biography is about my life, again in inverted commas, in an ordinary world. The second autobiography is about what it's like to be a celebrity. The third book, Revolution, was about what it's like to realise that you can change the world if people, if people come together and look at different ideas. And the fourth book is about the necessity for spiritual change. So all these books, for me, have a cohesive quality, but they're just obviously like any literary endeavour, just one person's perspective.
Cool. Got it. Cool. So we're going to wrap it up a little bit now, and we're just going to say, everyone, get out and check out the show. Tickets still available tomorrow night at the Waterfront in Stockholm. But as I said earlier, it's a musical outlet here, and Metallica over here just got announced as the Polar Prize. You know, they're going to be the winners of the Polar Prize, of 2018.
I know Lars. I've done a film with Lars. He's a lovely bloke.
Well, you called him a little Danish twat, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I said that affectionately and with deep love. But the Swedish people understand the term twat, because one of the things I'm worried about when I'm doing my show on the Waterfront tomorrow is, do people understand British slang? Because there's a lot of British slang, a lot of British swearing. Swedish people are going to understand it.
Swedish people will understand more than what you actually think they do. I went from Australia to England for a bunch of years, and they talk better English than I do, and they have a greater grasp of the language than I do. So I think you will be fine. And
there's no question about that, Darren. You're Australian. There's no doubt about it at all. And I suppose I'm from Essex, so they probably speak better English than me as well.
Cool. Excellent. Russell, thanks for your time.
Thanks for yours, mate. It's lovely chatting to you.
Come and see Russell Brand, Rebirth, russellbrand.com. Have a look at it. You can get your tickets there.